Hello. I'm I'm visiting from Berlin, and I landed 2 weeks ago, and I do stand-up comedy in the Germany, and no, I speak actual English, but I love how some of you were like, oh my god, is this gonna go on for 15 minutes? What the fuck? Hi everyone. Oh man, I recently visited my mom in Germany. She's had a rough couple of years, man. Her health is fine, but I gave her some things to mull over. I sat her down. I was like, Mom, I've been doing stand-up comedy for 10 years in the U.S. I want to quit practicing law and I want to do comedy full time. And she lost it. She's like, how are you gonna survive? And I was like, I don't know. But also, I mean, look at the long lineage of famous German comedians, right? I'm gonna be fine, right? Michael Mayer, Dieter Nuhr, Maxi Stettenbauer. I don't know. Stand-up is all I want to do. I love this job so much because stand-up, it forces you to be authentic up here. Stand-up is how I found who I am. I used to be a girl, and 2 years ago, I became me. Yeah. And I couldn't do it anymore. I was at the end of my rope. I needed to freeze the eggs and get the money. And also, it was trending on Instagram. So, I needed to sell tickets. I needed followers. That's who I am. My mom lost it again. This poor lady. I don't know. She's struggling. She still calls me her daughter. Yeah, and I get it. It's a habit, but it's starting to get weird. When I was visiting, she had a friend over, and then she goes, my daughter lives in New York, and she's a stand-up comedian. And this guy looks at her and goes, oh, wow. And then he looks at me, and he goes, and what do you do? And I was like, I live in New York, and I do stand-up comedy. And he went, huh, what a coincidence. You can't make that up, But it's a fascinating journey. If you're on the fence, I can recommend it. It's yeah, because look, for decades I was raised in girl world, right? I know everything about women, what they feel, what they think. I even talk like them, like it's perfect. And now I get to learn everything there is about guy world. Fascinating. Took me a day or two. Wasn't that much to learn. Mainly don't speak in the bathrooms. I think that's it. I think that's it. Well, also, I discovered one thing. Men pee differently than I thought they would. Yeah, I noticed that. Because you come in, I love it, you come in and they unzip, right? And then they stand in front of the urinals and they don't pee right away. I noticed that. They just stand there. It's almost like they're like gathering themselves or something. Or thinking about Bitcoin. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then very slow release, it's so cute. And it's so different from women, like women, they like stood in line for 10 minutes. They have to pick up the kid. They don't have time for this shit, They come in, they're like, okay, I gotta pee. Like it's coming out. Niagara Falls, Little different. Right, ladies? I don't know. But Germans were a little weird. I recognized that recently. I had a friend in New York, And we went out with my American friend, you know, and then mid-conversation he goes, I mean, I speak the way I want. Ja, und ganz ehrlich, wenn die das nicht verstehen, ist es auch nicht mein Problem. And I'm like, dude, we switched to German mid-sentence, you know. And he goes, yeah, so what? I'm like, so what? That's why we're not liked, man. I mean, that and something else. But details. Good. You're gonna have that maybe soon too. Who knows? Okay, got really quiet. Back to the gender stuff.